What is up, everybody? Bleeding Blue Podcast, episode 93. Man, we're getting close to 100 here. We're getting up there. We
Yeah.
gotta, that's pretty big. It's pretty big for the Bleeding Blue Podcast. But Ryan, anyways, how are you doing? How are we feeling these days about sports?
Feeling good, man. Pretty excited because at my work where I work, the golf course, they got the Canadian Open next week, so that'll be interesting to see. Watch in person. I'm gonna be there probably all 4 days to watch. Um, Jays are playing really good right now, at least, today. The bats are coming alive. My soccer team just won another European trophy, which is great. Yeah, so feeling pretty good.
Nice, man.
Not
I
bad.
can't argue with that. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, sport. Yeah, Leafs baseball, Leafs hockey, and the baseball world right now. It's been a lot bigger for the Jays as of late over at the hockey, over the NHL and the playoffs because obviously the Leafs, we know, as we discussed in the last podcast, are out of playoff contention after being eliminated by the Panthers, as we know. And right now, the Panthers are on their way to their third straight Stanley Cup final after beating the after beating the Carolina
Hurricanes.
Hurricanes 3-1 or 4-1, which yeah, that's pretty pretty embarrassing when you look at it actually personally, I think. Like it goes to show how, just not a good of a team Carolina was and how I feel. I mean, we could say, argue all day here that we would have beat Carolina, but you never know. But still, it's Carolina. It's just like if you're not a Leafs fan, then you better not be a Carolina fan because that's got to be fucking horrible. Like to be that in their shoes.
No, they fucking suck, dude. They suck. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's worse. I don't even know if it's worse for our situation or their situation, where they go to the conference final basically. I don't know. I think they've been there 3 times in the last 6 years, and they've won one game. It's pretty depressing. I think it's more depressing than the Leaf situation, if you ask me, because the
Yeah.
fact that you get there 3 times and you only win one game. I would rather have the Leaf situation where there could be a potential change. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
obviously, the Leafs front office is shit compared to the Hurricanes. But I don't
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
would
I
rather have the
mean,
Leaf situation.
I don't think the front office. No, I don't think our front office is. I think it's a player problem more than the front office. We saw. I don't know if you saw Treliving's video or press conference today.
I
Yeah,
did.
it was
I
pretty.
did.
I saw some stuff that made me, be a little bit more positive in the way he was addressing the team. Again, we've heard years prior. Like I saw a tweet talking about how every end of the year presser they say no, we're not going to switch up the core. And Treliving literally said, at some point you like you have to do something. You have to make a change. And you know what? Even though we've been through a battle, we've gotten we have battle scars from going to the playoffs, losing game 7, but there's got to be something to switch in those big moments and in those big games. And sometimes that means, sometimes you can learn from that, and sometimes it means you have to shake things up. And so that's what I got from it, and that's what that I saw that he said. So that's a positive statement, and the fact that he understands the issue. He understands the issue that the fans understand. And I think that Treliving, again, it's still a small sample size, but in the year time that he's been here, he has dramatically improved the team in terms of the offense and defense in the signings that they've made, especially defense. We know, and even the Solar signing is like fucking. I mean, sometimes part of it's luck, but part of it also you have to understand that those are the deals that are important, and you got to make those under the radar deals with the cheap signings, like guys like even the Tanev deals. Like you just buy out his years until he retires basically, so you know that you have him for a long time and you can sign him forever. And now that we've seen Tanev how good he is, that's like a huge asset to this team. You look at Ekman Larsson's another big aspect to the Leafs. McCabe is another huge asset to the decor. Brandon Carlo, he's going to be back next year, which is huge for the Leafs. So by us keeping that decor, which was not the issue whatsoever last year, is what made the team better, is huge, a huge step already. We also have two players that are leaving, which is also going to be important for this team in the
We have a
future.
lot of people leaving. A
Yeah,
lot of people
but
leaving.
in terms of like the big stars that we're looking at, like Marner and Tavares, that's big for the team. Robertson's another guy. Those are like Robertson. Is here and there. Like you can easily replace him, in my opinion. I think so with the free agent signing. But like the other guys like Marner and Tavares are trickier to replace because 38 goals doesn't grow on trees. 70 points, 100 points doesn't grow on trees.
Hmm.
However, Treliving realizes the circumstances of having a 100-point player and having a 40 goal scorer or yeah, like 40 goal scorer season like Tavares had this year is still, it's not even good enough when it comes to how you perform in the playoffs. So he realizes the difference between the two. So I mean I'm saying a lot there, but in at the end of it, I think what it means is that Trilliving knows what needs to be done, and I think I can trust him that he's going to do that because we've seen in serious improvement with this team. You know, besides even what has happened in the playoffs. Aside from that, you still look at this year and you got to take it as positive. You just have to. So in some way, no matter what it is.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you on that point. I think, there definitely is going to be some major changes. I don't think Marner is going to get re-signed. Um, if he
No.
does, it'll be for pretty cheap, I think. Not well, cheaper than, other teams would be signing him for.
Yeah,
And I just think I think there does need to be a change. There has to be something done, or else there's going to be no change in the playoffs.
yeah,
There's no problem with getting there. It's the fact of
yeah.
of uh
It's just, yeah, it's
of
it's it's
performing.
it's very weird because it's hard when you have all this success and you realistically on paper you are having success in the regular season and you're doing the right things to get there. It's just we've had really, really weird bad luck when it comes to performing in the playoffs. And this is a team. This is like the Yankees of hockey. The Leafs are. They are, as much as we don't want to admit, compare the two
Or the
because they are
Dallas
different
Cowboys.
sports. But they are. If you really look at it, they're the highest market team, one of the highest market teams with a ton of spending money. They have sellout crowds every game. They're a huge market, just a huge, huge market like the Yankees. And they know they have a ton of pressure from the team because they have a huge history, like the Yankees do, and they have a huge history of winning, be it in the far past, in a long time ago, but still to this day, they're one of the biggest. That success has carried on into today because people are desperate and so hard on fans and so hard on players like the fans are for them to win because they know that they should be a winning team. And there's this pressure that they still need to be a winning team because they're a big market team. So I think that I think that they can get there, but a big part of it is luck and just being rallying well in the playoffs. And you see teams like Florida that do that, and Edmonton. Like there's obviously something there that is like is some sort of formula for success in the playoffs, and you got to look at those teams and find a way to copy that as much as you can. And if that's signing Marchand and Bennett, then albeit I think they should do that.
Oh God. I would hate it, but also love it. I hate both those players
Yeah. On the
for
team,
multiple
you'd love it,
reasons.
no matter what.
For multiple teams. I think Marchand particularly would be fantastic. Um, Bennett, I despise. He elbowed Anderson yesterday. Again, elbowed another fucking goalie.
Yeah,
Like,
I
ugh,
know.
he's a prick. He's a prick, and I don't care. He's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
He's an asshole. But I'm sure if he was on our team, it would be great. But I don't care. He's an asshole. But hopefully there's some this year. If there isn't, then we know what's gonna happen next year.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
So However, we do have a game
Mm,
tonight, which is going to be exciting to watch. The
yes, go Edmonton. Go Edmonton. Let's cheer on our Canadian counterparts here.
Yeah, man, I'm
It would be
excited.
good to
That's the
see.
game.
I would be very happy for McDavid, man. He deserves this 100% for sticking with this team for over 10 years. Oh, actually no, I think this is his 10th year. But the commitment he's had for this team and through the bullshit he's had to go through with shitty teams and teams that almost, won the final like last year. I think this is his best chance to do it. The defense is much better. Skinner's playing really good. They just got Ekholm tonight back, who is injured. They're looking really good. So I hope they win for him and Draisaitl's sake. And obviously Hyman getting injured, which is horrible. Who Marchment, an absolute dirtbag, basically almost tried to elbow him in the head, but he basically broke his wrist, something similar to that. So um, he's out for the rest of the playoffs. So I hope for his sake too that they play well as also a former Leaf.
Yep,
Um,
billionaire
so
kid.
good luck. Yeah, good luck to them. Uh, down with Florida. Down with Florida.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, man. They're good.
They're
They're
very
really
good. They're
good.
very good. They're very good.
It's crazy. They didn't even have like an insane regular season too. That's the funny thing about them. It's
Yeah,
like
they struggled, and then when
they
it
didn't
comes to the
even win.
playoffs,
I don't
man, it
even think
doesn't
they won
matter.
50 games to be honest. Like maybe they did. I don't know, but like still like it just goes to show like they're just a playoff team. They know how to play in the playoffs and
Yep.
perform. And they made those trades. They made those really good trades. Like for guys like
Marchand.
Marshan, that was a big one, and that obviously it goes to show that it really helped them out. So yeah, yeah, man. Anyway, shall we move on to talk about some Blue Jays?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, let's do.
Did we cover the Tampa Bay series? No, we did not. Um,
No, Tampa Bay and Texas was last week.
yeah, so we ended up going two
Even.
and four on that road trip, and I don't know how the fuck we won that series against the against the Rangers, only scoring I think 2 runs, which
We got
is
swept by the Rays. Oh my
yeah,
fucking God.
yeah, we did, man. Yeah.
I thought the Jays won a game.
No, they did not. They
That's
sucked.
brutal.
They were terrible. They both games were 3-1 the first two, and then 13-0 the last game. So right after you swept
That's horrible.
the Padres, you come in and just get swept by and completely obliterate whatever success you just made up. So that's unfortunate, but albeit we can forgive and forget because we ended up somehow winning a series against the Rangers, who are again they're a struggling team like the Jays. They're like the Jays on crack in my opinion because they have all this star talent but cannot score runs whatsoever, and they also have the most insane pitching too. Like on paper, I think that the Rangers should be a really good team because you got Jacob deGrom, Nathan Eovaldi, Jack Leader, who's guy coming up in their farm system who's really been really solid for them. And then you got Jacob deGrom, Jacob deGrom, as I said before, Nathan Eovaldi, Tyler Mahle, who's having an insane season right now, 1.64 ERA. And Patrick Corbin's another guy, albeit he hasn't had the greatest success in the last little bit, but he's been solid for them, so that amounts to something. But then you also have to take a look at it's like you look at this team and compare it from then, like from 2023 to now, it's ridiculous because you've got all these great players like Corey Seager and Marcus Simeon and Adolis Garcia, Jock Peterson. Uh, who else? We got Evan Carter, who's a guy that's coming up right now. Wyatt Langford is another exciting player. Jonah Heim is really good. Josh Young. like all these guys that you hear of, like but for some reason they're terrible. They're not playing great at all, and they've got this post World Series anxiety or something, whatever you want to call it. It's like so I don't know what it is,
Yeah, I don't
but
know what happened to them, man. They won that World Series and disappeared.
yeah, it's weird. It's very, very weird. So um, you know what? Uh, whatever. We won the series um, somehow, but I think yeah, they're a very similar team to the Blue Jays. That's my thoughts on it. They've made all these huge signings, and some of them have worked out. They have a much better farm system than the Jays. That's another thing, but God, I hate that stadium. I hate that giant stadium. Like it is so big and
Really?
it's such a weird angle, like the camera. I don't know if maybe it's just me, but I just watching games at the at I don't even know, Globe Life Field is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Okay, I'm right. Yeah, it's just I don't like it. It's I don't know, something about it. It's just I don't like the Texas Rangers stadium. It's not that nice. Even though it's new and like giant apparently. It is like the biggest stadium in like just absolutely huge. Like very cool. But yeah, we won. We got it. Let's take a look at some of the stats though for this team, how the Jays have been doing right now. If we take a look at just some of the numbers that they're producing right now, the best player on our team is by far Vladdy. Right now, he's hitting 282, I think, right now after that home run that he hit. His OPS, all his numbers are going to go up from that, rightfully so. But it's huge. That is very, very big for this team. Bo Bichette's been good. That clutch home run in the bottom or top of the eighth inning. I think, yeah, top of the eighth, no, top of the ninth. So, oh, perfect. Yeah, top of the ninth inning was huge. So, and then just vintage Kevin Gosman, 8 innings. I think it was like 9 strikeouts, something like that. Very, very efficient. So yeah, it's been very, very successful for this team and like with the pitching staff and getting those numbers up. But yeah, if they can keep producing kind of like this and like obviously with the game that's going on today, they're up 11-0. Those are the kind of numbers you want to see every now and then. You know, that's not going to be every game, but to have these crooked numbers is nice for a change. And like it also, you know, home runs come in bunches is just like a known fact in baseball. So when you see, you know, when a bunch of players are having success, it sometimes rubs off on the other players, and then the team fires on all cylinders, and they catch, you know, some sort of lightning in a bottle. So um, it's I hope that this continues and that we can build off these games and this series win. But again, they're treading, you know, just treading above water right now, being a game below 500. And obviously, with tonight, I'm gonna assume they better not fucking lose this game, 11-0. That would be embarrassing. They're either winning 11-0 right now in the bottom of the fourth. So I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, so as long as they can continue that, this and with this series against the Athletics, we got some good positive things coming for the Blue Jays. Let's just hope it stays that way. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, let's hope it stays that way.
anything you have to
I
add,
got nothing
Ryan?
much to say. What's that?
Anything you have to add?
No, you basically said everything,
Okay,
Mr. Baseball Guru.
yeah, I know.
No, but no, I definitely believe if they can just score runs, man, they can win games.
Scoring
Obviously,
runs cures everything, man.
that's an obvious statement to say or something to say, but like this team, the defense is not was never the problem. It's just the scoring runs, and
No, defense
when
has
they
never been the
produce,
problem.
man, it always they always win.
And
When
I
they
don't even
produce
think pitching
runs, they
is the
always
problem.
win.
I genuinely don't think pitching is a problem because you have
No.
three top, you know, top starters in baseball that are always going to give you a good outing, like a solid outing. It's not going to be insane. It's not going to be 9 innings, but it's, Kevin Got between Gosman, Barrios, and Bassett, you're going to get some really good outings. And Bowden Francis has had, some really positive regression, I guess you could say, not positive regression, but just positive outings in the last couple outings he's had, where he did really pitch really well. 5 innings, no earned runs in the on I think the Tuesday game. Um, so yeah, that can hopefully, if that hopefully stays, I think we'll be okay. But
By the
yeah,
way,
there's what?
Edmonton is up 1-0.
Let's
7
go.
minutes in. So there you go.
Let's go.
Good start for Edmonton. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And even our bullpen, they've been solid as well. Braden Fisher, uh, 0 earned runs. These guys that have been coming up have been very, very helpful for this team. So guys like I said, Braden Fisher, Paxton Schultz, Eric Lauer, they've all been really good. They've been helpful. But other guys like main guys in our bullpen, like Mason Fluharty and Chad Green, Brendan Little, Yariel Rodriguez, they have all been really, really good for the Jays so far. So they can keep that up. That's all. That's gonna be fine and dandy. Jeff Hoffman, even I'm still not even worried about him. That's the weird thing about it. It's like you got a
Hmm.
5.55 ERA. I know it's high, but he has just such good pitching ability, and it's weird. There's something about it that I just believe that his runs have his ERA has been inflated uh by obviously a couple of really bad outings, but I think go from there and we'll be okay.
Okay.
Look, sorry. But yeah, and then the other thing I'd have to say about the pitching is you got Max Scherzer's gonna be starting a game, doing some live bullpens. And then you got Spencer Turnbull coming up soon, and then even Alek Manoah. You got to look ahead to. So that's exciting. Hopefully, something to build on.
Yeah,
But yeah,
100%.
yeah. All right. Anything else to add? Is that it? Sum it up
Yeah.
for our Blue Jays.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
All right. Sounds
Well,
good.
they're already winning 11-0 against the Athletics right now. They have a 4-game series against them, and then they play the Phillies at home. So that'll be an interesting series to see how they perform. Uh, Probably be like halfway done that series when we come back to our next pod.
Yeah.
But what how do you think the Jays do in this series here?
Um, huh.
What-
Well, I know that they're going. I can almost confirm that they go um 1-3 at least um with this game in this 4-game set. But
Right.
I'm gonna say I want to say 3-1 if they can do
Okay.
that. But I'm not gonna be upset even if they split. To tell you the truth,
Really?
no.
Okay.
This is who this team is, and like that's when I look at the team, I see a very, very 500 team, but I'm gonna put my, expectations a little bit lower, but I'm gonna say they go 2-2. Um, but 3-1 would be great. Sweep would be incredible, but that's always a 4-game sweep is always, always super hard. So we'll see how that goes.
I'm gonna go 3-1.
Nice. I
I'll go
love
three and
that.
one.
I
Feel
love that.
confident if this offense keeps going. 3-1.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to our rankings for today because
Top
let's go
five.
top five. We're doing rankings, right?
Yeah, we're just gonna do top. We're gonna do today. We're
Just
gonna
five.
do just five. We're just gonna do five today. Because we are doing top five Star Wars movies. Both
Star
big
Wars
Star Wars
projects,
fans. You want to do? We're gonna include TV shows.
dude. We're not gonna be able to. We're not gonna be able to. There's only 9 movies, so
11. 11 if you include
Fair
outside
enough,
of the
but like
Skywalker saga,
we
but
gotta include the show.
we'll include the TV show. So top five Star Wars projects. So that includes recent TV shows on Disney Plus, um, everything.
Yeah.
So we'll do top five Star Wars projects. Both big Star Wars fans. I bet a lot of the viewers are also Star Wars fans as well. Um, I think this is a good one because there's limited things to choose from, and there's a lot of good stuff, but there's also a couple bad movies, bad projects. So
Yeah.
could get interesting towards the end. But I checked the rankings of who won last week, and you won. So you get the first pick this
Right.
week.
All right. Okay. I gotta go with the obvious. Uh, Empire Strikes Back. Easy. No
Yep,
shot.
that
It's
was pretty simple choice there.
one of the best shot films of all time, and just in every aspect of the movie. The script is incredible. The acting is great. It's the best acting, the best tone and themes of the film, the best action, best music. This is the first film with the Imperial March. The art direction is incredible. Like the entire just each sequence just has so much different like colors and just style to it, especially you go from Cloud City to you go to the Hot system to the Dagobah system to Cloud City to
Mhm.
like in the spaceships. Like it's just there's a lot
Incredibly
about
well
this
done.
this film that's just so well done. The shots are great. And just the story is incredible. And even the action. Like my favorite there's one shot that I think just makes this entire film, and it says everything about the movie, and it's when they're in there. It's Luke versus Darth Vader, and Luke comes up, and it's just a silhouette, and he comes up with his lightsaber, and he goes, "Vroom," and then you just see Darth Vader. His lightsaber comes out, and you get this sense of like Luke is like not fucking ready whatsoever for this. You just know, but it's like the coolest shot in the entire movie. Um, yeah, man, I love this film. Number one for sure. Anyway, I know your second pick. I know your first pick, so go ahead.
That was my first pick.
Well, yeah, I know your second pick now. Go ahead.
New Hope,
Yeah,
100%. I don't care. Revenge of the Sith, controversial take. It is unbelievably mid. I don't care what anyone says. Unbelievably mid. Give me New Hope all day, every
this is
day.
the guy that says Iron Man
Probably
2
the
is like the
most.
best movie of all time.
What's that?
This is the guy that says Iron Man 2 is like the best movie of all time.
I never said that. I said it was badass. I didn't say it was the best movie of all time. But I still think Revenge of the Sith is better than Iron Man 2. But I'm just saying New Hope 100% better than Revenge of the Sith.
Right.
I just think for when it was made, the innovations of special effects that came with it. If anyone has listened, if anyone listens to the rewatchables,
Yeah,
I know you're starting to get into
I
it.
listened to the Star Wars episode of it. Yeah.
The Star Wars one was very good. It's two-parter and it talks a lot about the special effects that went into it and um, you know, George Lucas's vision on what he wanted Star Wars to look like and
No, they do a
the
great
budgets that went into it.
they do an incredible job of breaking down
Yes,
that
and
film.
there's also a documentary called Lights and Magic, which is on Disney Plus if you have it. I've only watched the first episode, and it's very good. It's about George Lucas and like Lucasfilm and like how they created Star Wars and other things. E.T. and a bunch of other films with like Steven Spielberg and Lucas collaborating and stuff. So. If you're interested in that movie nerd shit, check it out. But I just think the story is perfect. Um, I don't know. You just can't go wrong. Space Wars, dude.
Yeah, man.
It's very slow at the beginning. I wouldn't say it's very slow, but it's a little slow because it's, you're
I wouldn't
developing Luke's
even, yeah.
character. But that's what you want in the first movie. You want to feel that it's just interesting to start off with two robots in space. It's just, different from any movie I
Oh, it's so
think
different.
anyone had seen in the 70s. You know what I mean? So, um, I got to go with that as my number one pick.
Yeah. No, it's a good choice. My opinion on it, and like, I think yeah, it's obviously the great pick, but like, again, the rewatchables, they talk about how, you're on like that first act of the film, you are on Tatooine a long fucking time. Like they're on
Hmm.
Tatooine like forever. But for me, I just love that. Like that's some of the best like cinematography. It's just like it's a movie lover's film, man. Like it's just passion project, like just so original, so unique, and like it's why Star Wars is Star Wars, man. Like and then but yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, my
100%.
number two pick, I'll go Return of the Jedi. Out of the original
Fuck.
trilogy, it's good, but it's not uh what's the word? Yeah, it's really good, but it's not like the other two. It just doesn't compare. There's a couple goofy scenes like we can all agree with the fucking um with the like the dance
Ewoks.
sequence. No, the Ewoks are all right. It's like more the intro, like when they're in Jabba's
Right.
palace. Like the CGI, that kind of ruined it for me. There's a lot of added CGI to this one, which I don't like. Funny enough, don't mean to flex. I mean, I do mean to flex because it's fucking sick. I have like these, I have like the three original films, theatrical released versions on Blu-ray. So no added
Yes.
CGI, no nothing, just complete original and sick. And it's high quality too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that would be cool to watch. I'm sure the first one is like completely different than what, you know, the
yeah,
modernized version is. All the special effects in it. Like Jabba is a big example of that.
yeah.
Um, and like the
Oh, right.
how Emperor Palpatine looked,
Yeah.
that
This
was
man
another
is
thing
the
in the third
force.
movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I
Star
think
Wars is
that's
awesome.
interesting. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Return of the Jedi. If you're not picking the first like the original trilogy in your top three, I think you have problems.
No, like again,
Um,
it's also those original three are just super nostalgic for me too. Like I just like I used to have all of them on VHS and I used to watch them all on
yeah,
VHS at my like grandpa's house and like those are just memories of what when I was a kid just watching Star Wars on like Return of the Jedi and VHS just like I love it. I love it so much. But
yeah,
next yeah, you go.
yep. I'm picking Rogue One. Hot take. I'm picking Rogue One, second pick.
Not a hot take. That's a great
Yep,
choice.
definitely 100% the best Disney project that has come out since George Lucas sold all of his Star Wars collection and shit. Rogue One, easily the best that thing that has come out of Disney. I have not watched Andor, which is kind of sad to say. But I definitely will be. Definitely will be starting to watch it soon, and I will get back to that on the pod in the next upcoming weeks when I have time. But I think Rogue One is so unique, and I also like how it's a side story from, the Skywalker saga, and it was different than than Force Awakens, which had came out before that, the year before, and the cookie cutter Star Wars stories that we had seen from the past, and I just thought it was really cool to get introduced to new characters and then how it meshes into the New Hope at the end, like just
Yeah.
perfectly ends off. And like obviously Darth Vader, the fight at the end's fucking amazing. I mean, it's probably the best I've seen Darth Vader ever look in anything. Um, I think it's perfectly done. And Gareth Edwards, who is the director of it, he's made some other cool stuff. I think it was great. I really like the side characters, and um, it's also not like a world affecting story. It's just like, trying to get the Death Star plans to the rebellion, and I think it's really cool how they bring these band of misfits together to try and figure it out. So I got that at number two. I think it's really well done. Great acting in it as well.
Yeah.
No big names other than Mads Mikkelsen maybe. I
Even
think
he's
that's
not like an insane name either.
right, right. And I think that's also another good thing too I like about it is that it's a lot of actors who aren't big. And I think
Mainstream.
that also makes it very good, I think, as well. There's
I
not
mean,
one shining
even Star Wars was always
or
like that. Like the only insane actor is Alec Guinness. Like that's the one guy.
right,
But like all of them are nobodies. Like Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, they're all
right.
nobodies. But yeah. Anyway, my next pick, gotta go number three, Revenge of the Sith. My goodness, what a movie. Like, just incredible. I love this movie with a burning passion. Um,
Hmm.
it's just so much fun. It is just so much fun. Like this is where the lights everything's on crack in this movie. Like the memes are on fucking crack with this film. Like the lines are just so goofy, but it almost convinces you that it's an actual good movie. And I'm not going to say it's not a good movie because there are, like if you love Star Wars enough, you can still find a way to get yourself into this world because Lucas does a great job at world building this film and creating this universe. Even if it is CGI, entirely CGI, it's fine. It's like there's at this point they found a way to do a good job with the CGI and not make it look so ridiculous like in the first two. This one it looks, in my opinion, pretty good. And like I love General Grievous is just like I fucking love General Grievous. Um, it's they just I think they did a good job, especially with the lightsaber fights are really good. Obi-Wan is just fucking awesome in this. Like he's my favorite character in all of Star Wars. Order 66, that whole scene's like terrifying. Like you just like it makes you sad. And then the final scene too is like the final fight on Mustafar. That's awesome. Just classic.
Right.
But
I agree
that's
with
the
you on
main
that.
reason. It's again, it's nostalgic, so I gotta go with it.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. I just think the prequels are very slow and a lot of
They
political
are. They are.
bullshit, and I hate it. There's none of that or a very limited amount of that in the original trilogy. And Lucas just decides to put all of this lore and bullshit that doesn't need to be explained, like all this Trade Federation shit. Like little kids don't care about that. You know what I mean? Watching that, maybe adults, maybe find it interesting, but what 12-year-old wants to learn about the Trade Federation and
The
debates and
Galactic
like
Senate.
no, yeah, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? And there's the only reason why I like this one compared to the other two is because there's only a little bit of that. And towards the end, that's when we get the good shit with the lightsaber fighting and like you mentioned with Order 66 and all that and the becoming a Vader and shit like that. Like it's really cool. But apart from that, the prequels suck. I'm sorry. And all these people saying, "Oh, we it grew on me," or I like it now. No, no, they're horrible. I'm sorry. It's overly CGI bullshit. And the third one's the Revenge of the Sith is the only watchable one for me,
Hmm.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I don't mind it though. I think
Yeah,
it's a
I
good
don't
movie.
mind it either. Like I saw the live version. Or sorry, what am I
The
saying?
re-release.
I saw the re-release of it, and that was a lot of fun. Like it was cool to see that movie in theaters. Sorry,
Hmm.
microphone right here. Uh,
I understand that.
yeah, and that was a lot of fun. And again, it's nostalgic. It's very nostalgic. But
Hmm.
I think I can agree with you completely. Like the if you want to get a good understanding of really like what these movies are like and the issues with them, and want to know why there are so many issues with them, go and watch a video by Cosmonaut Variety Hour where he breaks down the prequels and he gives us the reasons. We all know it's bad acting, it's bad CGI, but he really, really breaks it down on why it's so terrible, and it really made sense for me. So do
Hmm.
yourself a favor
Okay.
if you like Star Wars and you're interested in Star Wars, go watch Cosmonaut Variety Hour. His take and video essay on the prequels. It's really good. But
Okay.
anyway, your pick. You go.
Okay. Number three, I'm gonna go with the first show of um of the draft. I'm gonna go with Star Wars, the Clone Wars show.
Oh,
Uh, I haven't watched all of it, but what I have seen, it is definitely better. Uh, Very good. I enjoyed a lot of it. You know, I can't recall. It's been a while since I've watched it, but I just the animation's very good. I enjoy it. It's a lot better than the sequels and the prequel stuff, in my opinion. Uh, I think the story of Anakin and Ahsoka Tano and Obi-Wan, I think that go bends really blends really well, and all these side characters that are brought in, and Dooku obviously, and there's a lot of storytelling going on in the show, and there's a lot to go through, and I think that's great. I just wish they brought some of this stuff from the Clone Wars into the movies because I think it would have made the movies a lot better. Uh, but I think just because the fact that there's so much to tell in this show and a lot of seasons, I think it deserves to be high up on this list. So I'm gonna go with that number three. It would be I wouldn't say it would be higher, but I think I would give it more love if, there was more seasons, but or if I watched all of it. But yeah, that's what I have. That's where I have it.
yep. No, good pick. Let's see. Yeah, no, Clone Wars is good. It gives a good breakdown of like what happened, obviously, like what even are the Clone Wars, because it's just like brought upon us in the earlier films, in like the first film where it's just like, your father and I fought in the Clone Wars. Like, and we're like, what the fuck is this? Like, if I mean,
Right.
obviously we knew because we were already accustomed to what the Clone Wars are, but like, obviously people were just watching it had no idea what the Clone Wars were. But yeah, anyway, good pick. My number four pick. Uh I'll go The Force Awakens.
Okay.
Um you know what? This was awesome. When I like came back to Star Wars, I was like, let's fucking go. Like and this like finally being able to see a Star Wars movie and like having the original cast like in a new movie, not really new because it's basically shot for shot of the first film. Um really exciting still. Really exciting still. I had a lot of fun going to this movie. It's a huge film. Yeah, they still do a good job, like in terms of art direction, CGI, music. It's 10 out of 10. It's at the top of its game. You cannot ignore that. And you can't ignore that about a film because there's obviously a lot of effort that's going into this. I wish they had a little bit more effort on the plot, in the story of these films because, by the third film, by the third of that new trilogy, you get to they fly now, they fly now. Like, come on. It's a
That
little
made me so
ridiculous.
pissed off. That made me so pissed off in
It's
the
all right.
theater.
It's whatever. There's some worse lines in the prequels, man. There's some like stupid fucking lines in the prequels, I'll tell you. So, like that's at least it's like yeah. Anyway, yeah. So Force Awakens got to go number four. Yeah.
Yep, I like that pick. That probably would have been my fourth pick, but I'm gonna go with another show. I'm gonna go with The Mandalorian at number
Nice
four.
pick.
I think season one and two are fantastic. Some of the best stuff Disney has produced from Star Wars, other than Rogue One. Um, I think Jon Favreau really changed Star Wars for the better with this show. It's basically like a Western in space. Like it's fucking cool. Obviously with Grogu, Baby Yoda and Giancarlo Esposito's character with the black saber. I thought it was sick.
Hmm.
Bringing that in, and spoiler alert at the end of season two, or the last episode when Luke comes in with the X-wing, and he just destroys all these stormtroopers and uh and saves Grogu and trains him on the Force and stuff. I thought that was really cool. And then it kind of went off the rail in season three. I didn't really pay too much attention to season three. I thought they got a little ridiculous. And I feel like Mandalorian also gave a boost to Pedro Pascal. I thought, he's obviously been a big actor. He's been in a bunch of big projects before this, but I think this really elevated him to like a A
Yeah,
plus lister,
his
100%.
career definitely took off even
And
more.
also the fact that most like 99 95% of the show, his face is not showing,
Hmm.
which is I thought was, interesting and, giving him a bigger platform. And uh I just think this is really cool, and I like how every episode has its own story. And you know, oh, what's his name? Din Djarin? Is that what his name is? Mandalorian's name? I can't remember what's his name.
I don't even know.
I forgot. Um, but I think, the fact that every uh every episode has its own story and tasks that he has to figure out, and bounty hunter and shit. I love that. So, also very excited for the movie coming up. That the movie he's in for Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm very excited for what that's going to be like.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Favreau's directing it. I hope he is. I think that would be really cool to see what that would be like. But I have that at number four.
nice. All right, my number five pick. I'm gonna go with one of the shows, like the mini shows, like you kind of did for my number five pick. Um, I really liked Kenobi. I actually did. I
Yeah,
actually enjoyed Kenobi. It's not insane. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing,
no,
but it's not bad.
it's
And it's Star
Vader.
Wars, and in the Star Wars world, and you get to see Hayden Christensen again. You get to see the guys. It was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. You get to see, yeah, Ewan McGregor. Um, so I was really happy about that. So yeah, I
It's a
got,
lot. It's a lot of fanfare. It's a lot of
it
fanfare.
is, but still, it is cool to see. And like, there's some elements, story elements that you don't get to see in there, that you're missing out of out of the films, about these characters. So personally, you're right. There, it's not insane. It's not gonna be, but I kind of knew going into that I'm not gonna have my socks blown off, and I'm not gonna be thinking about it for days on end about how great this is. But still, I had a lot of fun watching Kenobi, and I think it was a sick story. And Ewan McGregor's he's like I think he's better than even like Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan. You know, like I just
Oh, 100%.
yeah.
100%, dude.
Like
Yeah, give me
he
Ewan
gives
McGregor
him a
all day.
personality that we haven't seen in you. He just has personality elements that are different than, this old wise hermit, that's living in the desert. But yeah. So you get to see why he turned into this guy, how he turned into this guy. So yeah, that's my number five.
Yeah, good pick. Um, I only reason why I'm not picking Andor is I have not seen it. So this is gonna be misleading. It'd probably be on my list over this. I'm 100% sure it would be. But for now, I'm gonna go with The Last Jedi. I'm gonna go with episode 8 for number 5. I was very surprised. I rewatched all the Star Wars films recently, I'd say a couple months ago, and I rewatched this, and I was pleasantly surprised at how, surprisingly good this was. Um, there's a lot of good moments in it. Uh, I just think some of the characters are just like, not needed or just like kind of useless in my opinion. Like Rose, like she's important for one movie and then she's completely done in the next movie. Like, and then like at the end when she saves Finn, like it's like, dude, did that need to be written? I don't know. I don't know. I think her character was kind of useless, and the casino sequence is like whatever. Like it's, kind of dumb. But I think there's some quality. I think there's definitely some quality in it. I think, obviously Mark Hamill being in it changes it. I think his fight with Kylo Ren on the Salt Planet, I thought that was really cool in theaters. Probably the best part of the movie, in my opinion, when he's, basically casting himself like as a hologram. I thought that was really cool, using the Force on that. But I don't know. There's some bad writing. The whole sequel, every sequel is bad writing. But I think this is probably, other than Force Awakens, this is definitely, has some redeeming qualities. It's the only really thing I can pick that isn't shit that's left. From all the shows and other prequels that we didn't choose. So I'm gonna go with that as my fifth pick, sadly. But I'm sure if I watched Andor, it would be on here.
Yeah. Yep. No, fair enough. Um, no, not a bad list to say, but anything else you have to add about the Star Wars, my friend?
I love it. Love the franchise. Too bad the sequels were horribly written. Uh, Last Skywalker, oh, or Rise of Skywalker, whatever the fuck it was called. It's one of the worst written movies ever. Just completely ruined it for me, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sure it had some negative impacts on you too.
Yeah, I was really upset. There's just you just could have done so much more. You just could have done so much more. And like I think these characters had potential too. I think Ray had more potential to be interesting and you didn't need to do there's ways you could have, not made like not made these
She's
characters.
not a Skywalker.
I know.
Rey
Yeah.
Skywalker. No, you're not. No, you're not. I fucking hated that ending. It was so annoying.
You know what I would have done?
If I had it my way, I would make Finn the main Jedi because that set up Force Awakens set that up perfectly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He comes back after being injured and
No,
then
well,
just fucking
I don't know if
becomes
you
an
remember
absolute god.
at the
That
end of
would
the
be
film,
sick.
at the end of the Rise of Skywalker, they talk about how he has some sort of force
Yeah,
feeling
I
or
know. It's so stupid. It's horribly written. It's horribly written. They could have made him fucking awesome. Ray could have been great too, but I feel like if they made Ray the villain and like Kylo Ren, Finn brought Kylo Ren back to the good side, I feel like that, and then Ray is like, powerful as she is, but like
dude, I was gonna
Finn
say
and
that too.
Kylo fight like,
I
oh, it'd be
think
so good.
I think what would have been like a great like plot point is if they made Rey go to the dark side in like the Force Awakens because that would have shook everyone up because you would have gone into
Yes.
it like expecting her to be good and then like she just right away turns to the dark is like because she's like this innocent kid and doesn't know what's right from wrong and then finally like by the end of the film whatever
It would make
she
it interesting too because she doesn't know anything about it.
yeah
So it's like the complete opposite of New Hope, where she becomes a part of the dark side instead of the light. You know what I mean? And then
it could
Finn
have been really
becomes this
interesting.
absolute sick Jedi, and then Ben gets turned back to the good side with fucking you didn't have to kill Han in Force Awakens. I think he probably wanted to get killed off, let's be honest. He
Yeah.
hated fucking Star Wars. But I think if they brought him back to the good side and they like, bonded together and they fought Ray, I thought that would have been sick. That would have been so cool because Finn had so much potential in the first movie. I'm like, dude, this like, he's holding the lightsaber and shit. He looks really good. And then all of a sudden, at the end of the movie, Ray knows how to fucking pull lightsaber with her hand out of nowhere. Oh, they completely butchered it, man. They had like seven writers for Rise of Skywalker, I think. Seven writers. You
My
can't do that.
opinion,
You can't do that.
they should have done my method, like this is my one thing that I say about this film that they should have done and it would have been so much better. I just know it would have been great. Is all they had to do was do it the method of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Write all three films and film all three
Yeah.
films at once. Write them as if they are like one giant film. Not even that. You don't even have to do that. Like just write them as if like they're one film. That way the continuity of all three are
Right.
proper and there's a ton relationship because things just completely change from one film to the next. Like Last Jedi, they have that final scene where like the kid picks up the fucking broomstick with his hand using the Force, and we're like, where the fuck, what happened to that? And then you're
I
like, it's
know.
never
It's
brought up back
whatever.
again.
Yep.
Third film, you
Yep.
have fucking Palpatine back. You know,
Out of nowhere.
yeah,
Out of nowhere. Fucking stupid. Disney has many problems right now. I mean, Thunderbolts. brought it back a bit with Marvel. But we'll
And
see.
I
We'll
and
see
I
what
think
Fantastic Four is like, and then we'll go from there.
let's see, when is
I have high expectations because I'm a big Fantastic Four guy. So
yeah. I think if Fantastic Four is it's July, not till July. Oof, that's wild. But anyway, all right, let's end it off here. Let's finish it. Let's
mm.
bring her home. Um, thank you guys so much for listening. Maybe we'll start a Star Wars podcast. I don't know. Anyway, cheers. Have a good one. Make sure to like, subscribe on the TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. We on all of those platforms. Check out, yeah, the TikTok. We're on there. Instagram, Twitter. See you guys soon. Cheers.